Jambo wa Afrika. Hello Africa.
Hello and welcome. Did you know that there were ancient black civilizations in Africa that built pyramids? The Nubian civilizations that lived along the Nile in what is now Sudan and southern Egypt were some of the most advanced and influential in ancient Africa. Nubia was home to several empires, most prominently the Kingdom of Kush, established around 1070 BC. Kushite kingdoms conquered Egypt in the 8th century BC during the reign of Bai and ruled the country as its 25th dynasty. It is true that the Nubian people are not as well known as the ancient Egyptians, despite their many achievements and contributions to ancient Egyptian civilization. This is likely due in large part to the fact that the ancient Egyptians left a much more extensive record of their civilizations than the Nubians, with a wealth of written documents and artifacts that have been preserved to the present day. In contrast, much of the history of the Nubian people has been passed down through oral traditions, and it's not as well documented. Join us on this journey through the rich and diverse history of the Nubian civilizations. From their early beginnings in prehistoric times to the Napatan and Meroitic periods, we will explore the contributions and achievements of the Nubian people. We will delve into the history of the Kushite kingdoms and the impressive Nubian pyramids, of which there are actually twice as many still standing today as there are Egyptian pyramids. However, many of these Nubian pyramids were unfortunately damaged by Italian treasure hunters in the 1830s. Despite this, the legacy of Nubian civilization remains an important and influential part of African history. Before we delve into the rich history of Nubia, let's first take a look at its prehistoric origins. The prehistoric period in Nubia refers to the time before written records were kept in the region. During the prehistoric period, the Nubian region was home to the A group and C group cultures, known for their advances in agriculture, trade, and craftsmanship. The A group culture of Nubia is believed to have flourished between 4000 and 2500 BC and was characterized by a sedentary agricultural lifestyle. They traded with the Egyptians and were known for exporting gold. Around 3100 BC, the A group culture underwent a transition from the early to the classical phases. During this time, the wealth of A group rulers is said to have rivaled that of the Egyptian pharaohs. The graves of A group kings were filled with gold and ornately decorated pottery, and some scholars believe that the royal symbols used by these Nubian rulers and early Egyptian pharaohs may have been related. The C group culture is believed to have flourished from around 2500 to 1550 BC. They were known for their advances in agriculture and animal husbandry, as well as their skilled craftsmanship in pottery, metalworking, and other trades. The C group people also engaged in trade with their neighbors, including the Egyptians. They were heavily influenced by Egyptian culture, and many of their tombs and burial practices were similar to those of the Egyptians. The C group culture laid the foundation for the later Kushite kingdoms. As we move on to the next chapter in Nubian history, we come to the rise of the Kingdom of Kush. This powerful kingdom would go on to become one of the most influential civilizations in ancient Africa. Located in what is now Sudan, the Kingdom of Kush controlled the trade routes to the Red Sea and was known for its wealth and power. It was also a center of cultural achievement with a rich tradition of art and architecture. The origins. The kingdom is thought to have originated as a federation of smaller states which were united under a single ruler, circa 1070 BC. The capital of the Kingdom of Kush was located at the site of Kerma, a major center of trade and commerce. The Kingdom of Kush was known for its wealth and power. It was located along the Nile River, which was a major transportation and trade corridor in ancient Africa and supported the kingdom's agricultural economy. The wealth generated by trade and agriculture allowed the Kingdom of Kush to support a complex society with a rich cultural tradition, including architecture, art, and religious practices. The original Kingdom of Kush declined and came to an end around 800 BC, paving the way for the rise of new Kushite kingdoms, Napatan and Meroitic. The exact reasons for the decline of the Kingdom of Kush are not well understood, but it is thought to have been due to a combination of internal conflicts and external pressures, such as invasions by neighboring powers. Next, we turn our attention to the Napatan and Meroitic periods, two significant chapters in the history of Nubia. Following the decline of the original Kingdom of Kush, around 800 BC, the Nubian region was divided into several smaller states, which were eventually united under the Napatan Kingdom. The Napatan Kingdom, located in what is now Sudan, was ruled by a line of kings who were believed to be descendants of the Kushite rulers. The Napatan Kingdom was known for its religious practices, which were centered around the worship of the god Ammon. The kingdom engaged in trade with its neighbors and built impressive monumental architecture, including pyramids and temples. The Napatan Kingdom was followed by the Meroitic Kingdom, which also flourished in what is now Sudan. The religion and beliefs of the Napatan and Meroitic people were centered around the worship of the god Ammon, an ancient Egyptian deity. Ammon was associated with the sun, kingship, and fertility, and was worshipped as the protector of the kingdom. The Napatan and Meroitic people also believed in a pantheon of other gods and goddesses who were associated with natural forces such as the Nile, the sky, and the earth. They believed in an afterlife and buried their dead with grave goods such as jewelry and other offerings to ensure a comfortable journey to the next world. The Napatan and Meroitic periods were characterized by the construction of impressive monumental architecture, including pyramids and temples. The pyramids of the Napatan and Meroitic periods were built as tombs for the kingdom's rulers and were similar in design to those of ancient Egypt, but with a distinctive Nubian style. The pyramids were constructed of brick and were decorated with reliefs and inscriptions that depicted the lives and deeds of the rulers. The Napatan and Meroitic people also built temples to honor their gods and goddesses. These temples were finely crafted and decorated with intricate reliefs and inscriptions as well. The monumental architecture of the Napatan and Meroitic periods reflects the wealth and power of these civilizations and their cultural and religious beliefs. During the Napatan and Meroitic periods, the Nubian kingdoms of Kush expanded their territory to include parts of Egypt. The Napatan kingdom conquered Upper Egypt and established the 25th dynasty of Egypt, which was ruled by a line of Nubian kings. The Nubian kings of the 25th dynasty adopted many of the customs and traditions of the Egyptians, but also retained their own Nubian cultural practices. They built pyramids and temples in the Nubian style and continued to worship the god Ammon, as well as other Nubian deities. Unfortunately, the 25th Nubian dynasty of Egypt came to an end around 656 BC, when it was conquered by the Assyrians. In a future episode, we will delve deeper into the fall of the Kushite kingdoms and the end of the Napatan and Meroitic periods. We will explore the reasons for the decline of these powerful civilizations and the events that led to their eventual demise. As we mentioned in the introduction, the Nubian pyramids have a long and varied history, including a chapter that is not often talked about. We will take a closer look at this part of Nubian history and explore the damage that was inflicted on the pyramids by Italian treasure hunters in the 1830s. These treasure hunters began to explore and plunder the pyramids of Nubia in search of artifacts and treasure. The Italian treasure hunters caused significant damage to the pyramids, which were already in a state of disrepair due to centuries of exposure to harsh elements. They hacked away at the walls, and reliefs of the pyramids, looking for hidden chambers and treasures. Many of the artifacts and treasures that were found by the Italian treasure hunters were taken to Italy and are now housed in museums and private collections. The damage caused by the Italian treasure hunters is a sad chapter in the history of the Nubian pyramids and a reminder of the importance of preserving these ancient monuments for future generations. In this episode, we have explored the rich and complex history of the Nubian civilizations that flourished along the Nile in what is now Sudan, from the Prehistoric Period with its early cultures of the A group and C group to the original Kingdom of Kush and other Kushite kingdoms in the Napatan and Meroitic periods and beyond. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Black Kingdoms of the Nile. We hope you have gained a greater appreciation for the rich and diverse history of the Nubian civilizations and their enduring impact on the world.